day. It's your boy Jakeem. Really appreciate what you're doing for USC culture, man. Keep going.
Going on, shout out USCJ, man. Appreciate the support. Shout out to USCJ, you know what it is. Nothing but love, man.
Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's talk about it. Happy Friday to everybody. Listen, it's really go time. It's on it popping. It's on it cracking. Listen, it's the day before the game, and you guys see, man, I got this big Kool-Aid smile, man, because listen, the time is now, and now is the time. We no longer have to wait on this whole summer. We don't have to talk these players up anymore. We don't have to consider who's going to be where or who's going to be there. Now it's official. Tomorrow we have a game. And listen, man, the Fighting Trojans are getting ready to take the field. They get ready to show us what they're really about. And listen, man, can we just talk about some of the lost in the sauce performances that we saw yesterday? If you guys are into college football like I am, and we saw the Boise State, man, look like they were all I mean, can we talk about the top 25? I'm going to get into that. But I really want to talk about the development of some of these guys, man, as it relates to Lincoln Riley, as it relates to specifically some of these guys, even from California, man. You guys talked about it. You guys said you want to see guys develop. And here's what I'm going to say, too, though. We can't have our cake and eat it, too, man. And there's a couple of things that we need to consider all across the board when you're talking about this roster, when we're talking about the official depth chart. I think that we got to factor in a lot of things, and a lot of things that are in play. Number one is this. These coaches, their credibility right now is on the line. And so that means any move that they make, it has to be strategic. It has to be for the purpose of really winning. So I want to consider that. And one of the reasons why I want to bring some of this up is because I had so many people inbox me. I see so many lost in the sauce comments, commentary all over the internet. And man, look, man, I use my thinking cap. I sit there and I think, I analyze for a minute, and I just don't start spewing off crazy lost in the sauce commentary or lost in the sauce things. But I really want you guys to consider Lincoln Riley's credibility is at stake. So you got to think about this. He's going to put the right pieces in the right place at the right time, specifically because everybody's credibility. This is football is a multi-million-dollar business. So we get ready to get into this. We're going to dive into this, and I want you to think about this. First, I want you guys to consider that. Think about the Texas A&M game. You know, a lot of people talking about we got young guys, sophomores in there. You got Alani Noah's a young guy on there, but he's got experience on the offensive line as it relates to being a guard. You got Tobias Ramey, who's a young guy, sophomore. And then, of course, you got Jester Toa. Forgive me if I'm saying that name wrong. But you got him on there as well, big young guy. But I want you guys to consider, do you guys remember how they looked against Texas A&M? Do you forget about how they held their own specifically against Texas A&M, a team that a so-called SEC team is supposed to be one of the best conferences? Now, I'll argue anybody that up and down all day long because you guys know I feel like USC, when you're talking about the SEC, specifically the Big Ten, USC smacked two SEC teams, LSU, as well as Texas A&M. I stated this before. Michigan smacked Alabama last year. And even Notre Dame is not in the Big Ten, we played them every year, but they smacked Georgia last year in a big-time bowl game. Illinois got smacked by South Carolina. Look, we could keep going on and on and on about the success last year of the Big Ten. And when you look at some of our guys, specifically these young guys now in the Big Ten, we recruited. You guys remember, especially when some of these guys came in the 2024 class, and some of these offensive line in the 2023 class. Remember how, we were recruiting for the Big Ten. You guys remember that? These are some big body guys. And I think it's important to know that we were excited. We saluted these guys. They held up. They held up against an SEC program, an SEC team like Texas A&M. And I think that's going to translate well to the field. I think that we don't have anything to worry about when you talk about these big bodies like Justin Tuna and Tobias Ramey. These guys are 6'6", big bodies. And don't forget, man, we listened to some of the comments, some of the conversation, the talks that came from just even Devin Tompkins, guys that are getting interviewed after practice. They talk about the physicality of some of these guys on the offensive line. Some of them talk about the individual battles. And you guys gotta gather your evidence. You gotta gather your stuff together and really consider all of those things. And here's the thing: we always talk about development. You always talk about getting guys on the transfer portal and when we're gonna develop guys. Well, guess what? Now is the time, and the time is now. If we don't develop them now, when are we gonna develop them? I think you got to look at it from that perspective. You see, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So here's the other part of it we got to consider. Our schedule, the way it is right now, I believe a couple of things that are taking place. I believe number one, as it relates to our schedule, I believe that you could get guys like Justin in there, Tobias, and those guys can move and groove, get a real feel for the college game. And I just truly believe with all my heart that our coaches want to see what we have. See, last year we opened up with LSU right off the top. It was just straight up go time. We had no wiggle room. We had no time to really see who was what. We just had to kind of get fall practice, lean on fall practice, and get a feel for fall practice, how that went. And then you just kind of had to roll with it from there, which was pretty good though. I mean, we did our thing against LSU, and we saw all kind of guys, defensive side of the ball as well as offense, really hold up pretty decent. But I want you guys to consider even last year as it relates to the blocking. Last year, we said it all year long. Pass blocking wasn't all that hot compared to our run blocking, right? Even at the end of the year last year, run blocking was pretty much a success. Woody Marks, he rushed for 1,183 yards last year, had success in running the ball. And as a result, I think those guys were considered more run blockers than anything. So here's my point. My point is this. I believe, too, the other part of it is that Lincoln Riley is going to use his offensive line, specifically to work it to their strengths, meaning that we're going to run the ball. And I told you guys just the other day that USC, I got intel that USC is going to run the ball a lot more. And we talked about the run-pass ratio when Lincoln Riley was at Oklahoma, how it was a little bit different. I believe not only are we're going to preserve our defense by keeping them off the field just a whole lot, we can preserve our defense by keeping them off the field, but we can control the clock. We can do several things with running the ball. We can control the clock, we can preserve our defense, and we can work to our offensive line strength. All that is factored in. I believe that Lincoln Riley understands that. I believe the coaching staff understands that. And I believe that's what you're going to see. This is the Big Ten. You guys heard Bryson Shaw on here the other day. He played at Ohio State as well as USC. Bryson Shaw has a clear understanding of how this works as it relates to the conferences. And there is a distinct difference. He talked about how it was different, some of the offenses that he had to face in the Pac-12 opposed to the Big Ten. You see the three linebacker set. I see some are concerned about that. I think they're stacking the box. They got the Mike, the Sam, and the Will specifically for run-oriented teams. I believe that everything that we're doing right now is strategic. I believe that Coach Riley learned his lesson from the first year, and we don't want to get caught with I don't want to say I'm not going to say that, but we don't want to be lost in the sauce. Okay, I'm gonna say it like that. So listen, man, I need you guys to really, I understand. Listen, too, I really understand that part of my assignment, part of my job is to. I know that USC fans have a sort of, I guess, PTSD or anxiety, if you will. Yes, anxiety hits all of us because I understand that it's easy to kind of revert back to the old ways. But listen, man, I truly believe with all my heart that this is a new team. This is a new understanding. And this is a new method that we're going to go about our business, man. So you guys can drop the comments, man. Listen, it is game day. It is pre-game day. I think I may be going live with a couple of guys like the Torch and maybe Carter. I think, I'm not sure what time. We got to get a time on that, but I may be doing like a little pre-game. We'll see what happens. But, man, listen, happy Friday to everybody. Now, let me real quick get off of that, and I got to get on something else real quick. Oh, one more thing about that. It is interesting, though. It is ironic that all the transfers. Let me just name some of these transfers. DJ Harvey, he's starting. Bishop Fitzgerald, he's starting. That's two. Tamiri Robertson, he is second string. I believe he's second string. Kennedy Erlacher, second string. Zacharias Williams, he's second string. And then Prince Stratton, I believe he's second string or third string, second string on one of those receiver groups. But for the most part, most of the guys that we've had at USC, and that's where development comes in. All that is part of development when you're talking about taking our guys, taking our team to another level. And there is, I want you guys to understand this. There is always a jump. There's always a making strides from one year to another. And when you're talking about being in the system from both sides of the ball, and I think we're going to see that. But real quick, man, at the time I'm recording this, Nebraska's lost in the sauce, okay? I don't know what the score is now, but when I turned it, at the time I'm recording this, I'll go back and check it. Matter of fact, I can check it right now while I'm on the phone. But Nebraska was absolutely lost in the sauce. Yes, it's the first game, but listen, we didn't come out like that the first game last year against a good LSU team. Look, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, that's plain and simple. But let me check the score real quick while I'm on here real quick because Nebraska was up 6-3. And, man, where is that game at? Okay, here it is right here. Let me check the score real quick before it's a commercial. But while that's on a commercial, I'll wait for that to come on. I want to get into this top 25 real quick. Did anybody see Boise State yesterday? Was Boise State not lost their barbecue sauce? They got them ranked, the AP poll and the coaches poll, they got them ranked number 25. And to me, yes, we got to get out there and we got to perform. But man, South Florida absolutely put the beat down. Was the final score? I can't remember. Was it 31 something? 31 to, I don't know, 7? It was some kind of crazy score, but AP poll, coaches poll. I mean, how are you guys feeling right now about your bias picks, man? Because that is really, it's crazy. And what if Tennessee beats Syracuse? What or Syracuse beats Tennessee? Coach Fran that came from Georgia. What happens if that happens? Oh my God. You're talking about shockwaves all over college football. Kansas State, where are they going to be ranked now in the new top 25? They lost, right? They were ranked number 17 coming into this thing. So, look, man, I'm out of here. I'm waiting for the score to come up so I can at least give you guys an update. Let me know, you know what? I'll do it this way. Nebraska, because, it was absolutely – okay, they are 13-3. It's halftime now. But, look, man, Nebraska looked like they were having a hard time, with Cincinnati. So, look, man, happy Friday to everybody, man. Listen, game day is here. So you guys hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think about our development. Is our development taking place? I'll say yes. Development is right now. So, look, man, I'm out of here, man. Happy Friday to everybody. Until later on, listen, it's go time. It's on and popping. It's on and cracking. Fight on, fight on, fight on.